Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is Lucas, and today I want to show you how I got my first paying client as a freelancer, as a freelance web designer. So this was something that happened about 5 years ago during COVID, when companies had to upgrade their digitalization because a lot of companies didn't really take that seriously, especially in Europe where I was living at the time. And this was my first paid client. During that time, I had actually a job. So I was getting a salary, but I was doing this, just to try something out on the side. Um, and I already had prior experience with design, with Figma, with Shopify, for example, because I had a business before this, before I went to Europe with Shopify. So I decided to go ahead and say, let's try to get a client. So this is the story of that. And before I show you the whole process, the proposal and all of that, I just want to, give you a quick little look of how the website looks like. It's not, perfect. This is, again, my first independent client. I did this by myself using Figma and Webflow. I actually worked with a good friend of mine that's an expert in Webflow to help me build this and export the site because we needed to export the site to another hosting platform. But anyway, this is how it looked like. Gives like a little about us. I actually hired a photographer to take these pictures with some of the budget from the project. So all of these pictures were from that budget from the project. So it gave it like this nice little touch of a same filter, so to speak, right? There were a few little interactions like this, right? All in all, it's a very cute website. It shows what they do. It says what do we offer, right? The spacing is not so perfect here, but you learn along the way. But I really enjoyed this. I worked with great people, again, with a photographer, with this Webflow developer, and I learned a lot. So basically this is the website in a nutshell. And obviously there's different types of jewelry, accessories, watches, and services that you can offer, or that you can book with this person's business. So this is kind of the overview of how the website looks like. So most of you might be asking, yeah, how did you find this person? Did you just cold call him? Did you just, was he a family friend? And yes, he was a family friend. And I think that that's the best way to start off. So I was living in the Munich area at that time. I was working down here in south of Germany in a corporate big company. And my family is from my mother's side is from this town, right? So my grandparents are from here. They live here. And I have an uncle and aunt that live here as well. And my uncle is friends with a few people. He's a lawyer of the city, right? So he has a few people that have businesses, and again, this was during COVID, so they needed help with digitalizing their business. So there was this one business that was a jewelry store, and most of these jewelry stores, if you click on one of these, right, and you click on their website, some of them are really great websites, but some of them, are kind of like very WordPressy, so to say. I mean, you can see the products that they have, but you see it's pretty slow. It's not a very nice design. So it's still loading. I'm clicking on things, but it's not really working. Anyways, let's close this. And here, some of these look very, corporate, and they even have an e-commerce function. This was what I was trying to propose to my client. Kind of a very nice look with custom photography and with an e-commerce functionality. And so basically they didn't even have a website to begin with. They just had a Google Maps profile with a few pictures of inside, not even product pictures or anything. And that was my goal, just to propose them a website with an e-commerce function that people can maybe book a meeting and choose specific products and purchase these specific products, right? Or rent them out. And with that being said, what I just did is that I called him because I kind of knew him from a few meetings that we've had in the past, maybe like a family dinner or something. So I knew him. I called him. I said, "Hey, Peter," his name is Peter. "Hey, Peter, let's meet up and let's think of a solution. Right now it's COVID. It's people are not allowed to really go into stores. They need, to have a special type of booking to go to your store, specifically in Germany at that time, which was pretty crazy. But they needed some type of, booking system or reservation to go into a store. So let's do something like that. Let's digitalize your business, right? And let's set up a meeting maybe next week and meet up and let's talk about it, right?" So my goal in that meeting was basically to shine his eyes and get a deal with him, right? I didn't want to get a lot of money. That wasn't the case. I wanted to point out the problem that he had and point out the solution that I was going to build, how long it would take, what exactly he's going to be getting, and how much it costs, right? So basically, if we go to Figma right here, I brought an iPad and I opened this Figma file. And what I did was I basically just put play. I presented this in play mode like this, right? It's going to be loading up and it kind of looks like this. So kickoff meeting, and it's in German because it's a German client, but the problem, oh, this is actually not the correct one. Hold on here. So we started off with not the problem, but the competition. So we showed some competition. Exactly. This was one of them. He actually mentioned this one before, that he really likes it. This jewelry in Munich, that he likes. Like, it's very, it's not very design oriented. It's very structured and standard, and it looks like a template. He likes that style. So I kind of showed him how it looks like. I pointed out certain things that I like from it, specifically with the text, as you see here, like it shows their values. And I think that's important for his specific jewelry store because it's an old jewelry store. It's about 200-300 years old or something like that, something crazy. I pointed out the fact that they do news, so that in order to get more organic traffic, you can do something like that. Showing the place with pictures, exactly where, you can see the address, but showing exactly where they're going to be going. Putting a type of contact form with a booking, with like a reservation system. And maybe I didn't really mention it here. I think I spoke more about it, but like a type of e-commerce feature where you have different products and you can buy them. Eventually, he didn't really want an e-commerce thing. He wanted the purchase to happen in store. He didn't want to really do that, fulfillment deal. So anyways, I kind of laid out the important facts for him, show the user rich history with the values, keep your clients updated with news, also with potential clients, provide a formal yet personal contact for special clients, and make them feel special, even if they're maybe not. Share the story of what creates the value of your products, right? So this was kind of like the starting point of the conversation. And the next step of the conversation was actually about the strategy. This is something more about the branding, which I was kind of passionate about back then, but I guess he's more of a business person. He wasn't really so, he just had an idea of what he wanted. He didn't really want to go so deep into the branding, but he shared a few points that he wanted. So I made this like little matrix over here showing like the brand values, their number one goal, and their two-word value, it's called. So digital show window, right? Like you're a show window, you can see like a window with products, you're a digital version of that, right? A digital catalog, so to say. So so it says here to create a digital show window for clients so that they can concentrate and the face of the company can be shared. Basically, is what it says here, right? So just a good goal and a good, short short phrase that represents the project, right? Or what you're trying to build. And then I created this story, in-store, value, professional, and personal. These are like the brand values, right? Personal, because you have a personal, conversation. The checkout happens in store. professional. The people that are working there are dressed professionally. There's a value. They have specific values. You can't paint your hair, whatever. In store, like I said before, and story. It's very old. Started in 1749. It has a history that they wanted to talk about, that they were before doing Hof jewelry. I don't know what that means, but they were doing that. They follow trends. They're a family business. They provide service. They're transparent. They have their own workshop, which is pretty important to show in the website as well, and that you can book a service with the workshop. Let's say your watch is broken or your ring is missing a diamond, that they can fix that. And very friendly, of course. So that's kind of the first part of the strategy, which is to kind of represent this in the website with copy and with design. We also came up with different, color tones. I kind of suggested these, and then we ended up going to this type of, color tone, brown with wood, represent kind of like old and traditional. We also had this like ivory color, also in this traditional field. And then we have this gray, these two grays to represent kind of like a steel color for watches, and this gold for jewelry, which is the main business that they have. Then we came up with different types of fonts. We had this font, which is Noto Serif and Tangerine. We came up with these funky fonts. Ended up using them in the website, which are pretty cool. And then I created this image language. So image language, you can see that we have this specific image from them. This is one of their products. They have a very, it's not very contemporary jewelry. It's more traditional jewelry. You have, for example, a wedding here. You have a street view of Germany. This looks very German, which is a small German town which they're from. And we have this nice gold color that we saw before, right? So that's everything from the strategy. Now, the next thing that I discussed was the structure. The structure of the website, first starting off with a sitemap. I created an initial sitemap, and as you can see, it's kind of like, looks a little bit unorganized, but it's because I created an initial one, and while I was presenting it, we actually, ended up building it together a little bit more. He was giving me more names of the brands that he was using. He was giving me more ideas of what other services they provide. So we ended up building this structure right in person. It took us like another 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes. I don't remember, but we did this live in person. I initially presented him this structure, and then we just added more ideas to the site, right? Then I presented him with like, a quick little wireframe of how it can look like. We have like a very image background, which ended up being the case for the website. So image backgrounds, we have image banners, right? And I kind of did this. I don't really remember what I said here. I think that, these things, this is where the eye movement goes and where the conversion rates happen. I didn't really put so much attention to this, but maybe you guys have some ideas and can use something like this for your own project, right? So it says we must take the user somewhere. We must guide the user somewhere into the website. We have to explain visually, and great product images lead to a cool website, to a great website. So this is kind of the whole, visual presentation that I did for this specific client. And he, we ended up working together, and it was a great project after all. Now, some of you might be asking, how much did I charge for this? Did I get paid to do the presentation? No, I didn't get paid to do the presentation. Actually, this was just, like I said, I called him. I was in Munich when I called him, and on the train, after that call, I kind of made this drawing of kind of what I wanted to, put on this presentation. I ended up not making it so large, but, you can see several things, like the layout, like the sitemap, and so on and so forth. I created that in drawing, and then on the train to that little town, I created this presentation. I already had some of these assets finished. I had some of these, I was working with my phone Wi-Fi, I remember, and it was like a 4-hour train ride. And I ended up, from start to finish, finishing this specific presentation. So yeah, in terms of pricing, I knew that it was going to be something that would take me about a month to build. So I charged something a little bit less than 2,000 euros, I remember, which was totally fine because at that time I was getting a salary, and it was quite enough for me just to test the waters to see how that would go, right? So let's go back to our layout, and I kind of want to show you how the project ended up, evolving, right? Like I said, I hired a photographer to take some pictures. He put it in a Dropbox. I added some of these pictures onto the FIGMA file, and I started building the layout from desktop to mobile, right? Using FIGMA. And at the end, it was brought to Webflow. And I created some certain things like with the gradient. This was something that I did, I think, for this background. Yeah. So like a nice little gradient to fade out. And I had to, find all of these different brand images and brand logos and add them to certain pages. And I was in constant communication with the client. I mean, not constant, maybe once a week. And we would do WhatsApp, which was very easy for him. And right, he would give me like, feedback like this, and I would just implement and add to Webflow. And that's that. And also, in the mobile version, we needed to also do the type of navigation. The client wanted to have this type of catalog. So this is from 2022. So this is an older one, but we have also, like, now it's a 2024. They actually have to change it to 2025. But that's kind of like the only thing that he asked me to do in terms of maintenance once a year, right? Which is pretty complicated because I actually built this project with Webflow and had to export it and host it into another like very complicated hosting system. So yeah, there's that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was, my first ever like personal client of mine that I actually called and created a presentation, met with him, closed a deal, and started working from A to Z, from start to finish. Gave him the website, and yeah, this was basically my first client ever, and it actually took less than a month to do, and it was a little bit less than 2,000 euros, which is fine for a first client testing out the waters to see how the pricing. I honestly did the pricing just based off of how long it would take me in terms of hours, right? After my work, because at the time I was working. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to have this specific presentation, I'm going to have a link in the description below that you can download this and use it for your own, for your own projects. It's really interesting. There's certain things that I also added like this, where you can add different things and like little goodies here, right? You can use this. I think this is a pretty cool slide, and this one as well. So you can use this for your own style, for your own project proposals. Yeah, let me know what you think, and hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.